it could be I say it too often, but I'm going to say it again anyway. I really am grateful to Degen Dalt and to his buddy Kyle Feds. It turns out his last name is his Fedsitor, I suppose. The guy who does the hard work and puts in the number of wins and losses and all the information that you see on the screen. That's not the stuff that I've added, obviously. This time he managed to turn $5,000 in promo chips into 5,000 in money that he can actually spend, or which he will probably just lose next time, because he is having a terrible time right now. Since his last turnaround, a couple of thousand bets back, he's lost about 72 grand more than I estimated the last time I put up a commentary on one of his sessions, his first session actually, with his girlfriend front and center, sort of just whispering in his ear, DD whispering, keeping his bets down and talking sense into him from time to time. But this time, I mean, he really couldn't lose. And the way all these guys play is, they roll on from one session to the next without bothering about the prior losses. It's like they never happened. They just start over each time, which is what the casinos want you to do. They don't want you to be looking for retribution or turnaround or whatever. They want you to just start each time as if you just got off the bus from wherever. And that's just how it goes. And all of these professional losers are there to promote gambling and to persuade really dumb people that they can have a lot of fun losing money the way these guys do. It's crazy nonsense, but it's been going on for years and years. The difference being that since YouTube started to allow these gambling channels, the gambling industry has an advertising medium which just skirts all the regulations that prevent them from putting stuff out to kids, to anybody before whatever the hell the magic hour is, the sort of 9 p.m. or something like that. All of that is out the window, and these guys are in the business of convincing the mad nuts out there that they can have a lot of fun risking a relatively small amount of money and going home without that relatively small amount of money, leaving it behind in this thing up here, the dealer's tray. And look at that. Look at that. Look at the amount of money that's in there. We can't even see all of it, but it's tens of thousands. And, to try and tackle these games, these tilted games, with just a bloody piss pot of a bankroll, it's ludicrous. It really is. But, people are going to keep doing it. And people like DD and John Sirasani and Vegas Matt and Steve will do it, and Crazy Cody Burn Money and Dana White and all the others will be doing their bit to promote the idea that you might win, but if you don't win, you're still having fun. Load of bollocks. All right, then. So here we are again with Degen Dalt. Mr. Webb, I think, is his name. I'm not sure about that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I enjoy watching this guy play and tracking him more than I do anybody else on YouTube, because of the quality of the edits, Kyle's edits, and because he bets at a sensible speed. The bar is low, I have to say, but the thing about him is that he is totally a slave to actual value. And in case you're not aware of what that means, what it means is that if he were betting one unit every time, this chart here, the AV chart, shows what it would look like. And this is what it looks like with him betting flat and randomly, a sort of a mix. And basically, it's the same thing. And it's like this time and again with this guy. And like I say, I mean, he's a likable fella, and his editor is brilliant. And the new thing with the girlfriend it adds a little bit of extra something or other, which doesn't apply to the Sirasani videos with various young ladies kind of like dragooned, or whatever the word is, dragged in to add a bit of interest to what would otherwise be probably the most boring real-time blackjack play anywhere on the internet. But he's King John, the greatest of all time, so he can do what the hell he wants, right? Anyway, the player edge for this session was 9.2%, plus 9.2%, which is why it's in green there. DD came out at plus 8%, which is, he's actually spoiled his performance a little bit. And when you get down to the bottom, let's go all the way down to the bottom. And what we get down here is total action of 53,500, bouncing all over the place. His left-hand bets bet somewhat less than that. Would be that less that. His extra bets, he didn't do as many extra bets this time, and I don't know why he keeps doing it, because he keeps losing. I suppose he has in mind that over time, in the last 4,121 bets, he's 29,500 ahead on silly multi-bets. Oh, just caught that in time, or I'd have frightened the life out of you. Yeah, that's his multi-bet win to date, and it's diminishing rapidly. I mean, he lost 200 this time, didn't have as many bets. And let's see, what the hell is that? That's oh, okay. So what that means is that he won as many as he lost, but he still managed to lose $200 altogether. So that knocked his first base win, 3,850, down to 3,650, which is here, and it knocked his true percentage down to 6.8%, which is what I should actually put in the chart up there. So I'm going to do that. Hang about. Okay, so that's fixed. DD's actual win percentage was 6.8, which is quite a drop from what he could have done if he just bet flat all the way. It's fascinating to watch these guys, and also, I just find myself wondering why would they do this? Why would they bet the way they do, which is basically dumb, unless they had to, unless it's their agreement with the casinos, because it just, it doesn't make sense. It's just, oh boy, I'm hitting all the wrong keys here. Am I doing a good job or what? I do owe him an apology of sorts, because I had totaled his total loss since his last turnaround at about 50 grand, and in fact it's 72,200. My bad. Sorry about that, DD. You actually lost 20 grand more than I thought you did. So my apologies for the mistake, which is that's called sarcasm. Sorry. Yeah. What else can I tell you? It's typical. It's the way these guys bet. Like the guy, admire the way he's doing things these days. So much more sensible than he used to. No more sort of silly fighting around. He still has his what's he called, his alter ego Greg with a mask, poking his head in every time there's a crappy hand. But it's not as offensive as it used to be, because he doesn't do it so often. This is obviously the same, plus 9.2%. And this is a little bit unfair because pattern betting's win percentage is 38% of a much higher action. But that's because always when we go from one of these tracking sessions to the next, I always say to you, next time, pattern betting will turn around. And of course, that's exactly what happened. And this is not within my control. I mean, anybody can check these sessions and see that these were the results. This is what happened at the end of the last one. with DD walking away a loser, as he so often does, and he has that in common with most of the other professional losers on YouTube. He always walks away a loser and complains about it, and then does nothing next time to recover his prior losses. Where the essence of pattern betting is to say, okay, so we're going to quit this session because it's too bloody hard, or because time ran out, or because, I don't know, whatever the circumstances are. And then you move on to the next session and you take the down being the total, the total hole you're in, like if it's 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 or whatever, and the out, which is the full value of your next bet per the rules of the strategy, and you move that into a new situation. And so that's exactly what happened here. The next bet was 12,800, which is a lot, I get that. But I hear every so often from real simple-minded wallies who sort of say, yeah, okay, so you're winning all the time, but you're betting huge amounts of money, and that's just crazy. You can't do that, And it'd be like sort of, I don't know, Ukraine saying, well, we want to beat the fucking Russians, but we can't afford real guns and tanks and stuff like that, so we want to beat the Russians with pea shooters and, I don't know, pedals. It's insane. You cannot beat the house unless you are properly equipped, unless you have balls, a big bankroll, and total confidence in what you're doing. And anybody who imagines that it's possible to beat these games long term, betting a tight spread and a small amount of money and taking very little risk, is an idiot. It's that simple. It really is that simple. So, coming down here, what are we looking at? We're looking at action on the part of the pattern betting algorithm of 95,000, a win of 31,813, 38% of total action. Okay, and what do we got down here again? We've got DD's action was 50,000, I think, and he won 3,000 on that. So, okay, let's say, terrible thing, pattern betting bet nearly twice as much as DD did. But you know what? That was because it was necessary. That's how you beat these games. You don't do it with the kind of nonsensical unicorn shit that I hear from people every so often. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude and I don't mean to be angry, but it is frustrating because keep in mind, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've only recently come to YouTube, only in the last couple of years, and I've got an audience of, I don't know, dozens rather than hundreds of thousands or millions. But the way I see it, the likelihood is that my audience is primarily smart people who are interested in the mathematics, the numbers of these games, and Vegas Matt and his subscribers. His subscribers are basically dumbasses. They gotta be. Why would anybody spend their time watching somebody else losing money or winning money? It doesn't matter which. And of course, the weird thing about Vegas Matt is that he lost a fortune at table games last year, then reported a huge success at the end of the year, or at least not too bad a loss. Prior year, 400,000 in the toilet. Last year, final figure was, I don't know, it wasn't anything near that. And that was because he had 3 or 4 wins on slot machines of over £200,000. Sorry. Oops, beg your pardon, dollars. I'm in the UK, and every so often, it's funny because I lived in America so long that quite often I get chastised by my friends here because I slip up and say bucks or dollars instead of pounds. No, I'm doing it the other way around. Sorry about that. But anyway, that's basically how it is. I mean, the people who can spend their time watching other people gamble have got to be of a different mentality, a different attitude, a different level of curiosity to the people who want to know, can these games be beaten consistently? How would I go about that? And if I can't match the bets required by pattern betting, then number one, I shouldn't try pattern betting because I don't have the money. And number two, I shouldn't bet at all because I can't afford to win. And that's what it comes down to. Can you afford to win? If you can't afford to win, which means betting a lot of money sometimes, then don't bet. And don't listen to the likes of Dana White saying they won 16.5 million at Caesars and they almost bankrupted the Palms and they beat the shit out of the Plaza, and Bellagio tossed him out because he won too much money or whatever. I mean, any of Dana White's bullshit, ignore it. That guy is a loser. There's no doubt. Because he bets erratically, he bets a very tight spread, and there's just no way. You cannot buy the pot at these games unless you have a plan. I'm buying the pot all the time because I do what I have to do, or the algorithm in this case does what it has to do in order to win. And that means, what is this, a 12,800 bet up here, winning at the end of that session 3,025, and then there was another big bet down here somewhere, 3,200 there, and then another 12,800 here. You know, I mean that's just how it has to be done. I'm sorry, you know. So if you're like my old collaborator Peter Punter, and you actually believe that you can beat these games with minimal risk and minimal bets, then you're mad. Just bloody off your trolley, mate. I'm telling you. So there you go. That's how it is. Next time. Oh, and thanks for sticking through my rants if you have. And if you haven't, well, it's your loss.